Hi guys, Pete Mazaris, the Home Inspector Mentor. Hope all is well with everybody. Here to talk to you today about communication on site. Communication on site obviously is imperative when you have your client and the realtor there and you are explaining issues that you've discovered that will be in your report. The first rule of engagement when communicating is that whatever you're saying to that client really should be congruent with what you write in the report. Now, most inspection agreement contracts are going to be written in a manner where the written report controls over the verbal statements that you make on site. And it's pretty much common sense because it becomes a hearsay issue if your client says, well, you told me this was going to cost this and it can be repaired for this, but when I have contractors come over, it ends up being a much more expensive item because either the whole electric panel has to be replaced or the power needs to be upgraded or the air conditioning system needs to be replaced, not just repaired, or the furnace or the roof or the garage or whatever it is. And that's why you really should just say that this issue is deficient in this respect and it needs to be assessed for correction by the licensed tradesperson, or you simply ask for the seller to have it corrected, repaired, replaced properly by the licensed contractor in your renegotiation with the client. With the seller. Of course, the realtors don't really like the inspectors telling the clients what to do as far as negotiating things, and so a better way to say that is, this is a issue, this is why it's an issue, and it needs to be either repaired or replaced by the correct licensed or applicable licensed tradesperson. I am not that person, and therefore it would be wrong of me to give you what that cost is, because if I'm wrong and you defer that repair request until after you've bought the house, then that could be a problem if that cost ends up being a lot more than what you anticipated. And so the time to know that is before you close and purchase the house. And so obviously little minor things like replacing an electrical outlet is, I would think, a no-brainer thing, okay? We don't need an electrician to tell us how much it's going to cost to replace an outlet when pretty much any home inspector who is handy can do it themselves, right? And so I'm talking about things that are of more significance, like replacing the HVAC system or the electrical panel, or if you have knob and tube wiring throughout the house and in your area there may not be anybody willing to insure that house, okay? That's where you defer to the licensed tradesperson. And don't think that you need to know everything about everything. You can't. There's no way you can do that. And I would also stay away from explaining how to repair something, okay? Unless you have direct experience in doing it yourself in other people's houses, then that's fine, because then you can say, well, this is how this needs to be fixed. But the better path is to say, this is the problem, this is why it's a problem, and this is who needs to take a look at it to figure out how much it's going to cost to have it corrected. And that's what you say in your report. If you say something different and your report says something else, then you're going to have problems with what your clients perceive from you. And what realtors perceive about you. So you have to be congruent with those things. So just keep that in mind as you start to get inspections, you start to have communications with your realtors and with your clients on site. Just be clear and congruent with what you're saying and what you're writing, and don't go as far as explaining how things are fixed and how much they cost unless you've actually been a contractor in that area. Otherwise, I hope all is well with everybody. Take care.